Hello, everybody. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you as we are looking forward from beautiful weather here in the northern plains to a winter storm exiting the Rockies. And not only in the form of winter weather, but some severe weather is going to be possible as this system works its way through the central plains to the Great Lakes area over the next couple of days. Your forecast is coming up right now. You're watching Hutch's weather. All right, my friends at Robert Gibb & Sons are experts with over 110 years of helping our area with clogged drains or faucets, leaky drains or faucets, or you guessed it, those slow, pesky ones that just never seem to empty out. Give them a call today. Let them know that Hutch sent you. They can provide 24/7 emergency services. And again, quality products, quality technicians, and experience that you can count on. All right, let's take a look at what we have going on across the nation right now. We have some showers and making their way through very windy weather across New Mexico. Here it gets going with some thunder and lightning in the front range of Colorado between Denver and Cheyenne, Wyoming. Look at that, a lightning strike there. Snow showers in the Rocky Mountains. A huge area of low pressure is focusing its energy in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. It will exit into the central and northern plains and bring a smorgasbord of weather across the area. A couple of things that we're watching for is that risk of severe weather, and the flat-out blizzard conditions are going to be possible in a few areas as well. Let's go over real quickly what we have going on with regards to winter storm watches, warnings, and advisories across the great nation. This includes Alaska. Nome, Alaska area seeing blizzard warnings up there. Zooming in on the area here in the northern plains and the central United States. All these colors are, well, just a lot of different weather. We have wind warnings, wind advisories across the nation's midsection to the deep south. We have fire danger across much of the south central United States, including West Texas. This pink up here, that there is winter storm weather and blizzard conditions expected. A blizzard warning in effect from the high plains of Colorado and the Denver area, Colorado Springs area just outside, and off into the east areas of Kansas, western Nebraska. That's a blizzard warning. These blue counties here, winter weather advisory. That's Sioux Falls, and that's Iowa. But look at Omaha, and mutually exclusive to some blizzard conditions there right along the river valley here. As we go into Iowa, it looks like some wild weather, even into northern portions and western portions of Missouri. Blizzard warnings there. These red areas are winter storm warnings for the mountains outside and west of Cheyenne, Wyoming, and the front range and elevated terrain just west of Metro Denver. There are winter storm warnings there, as well as portions of the Sierra Nevada in parts of California. And that is a look at just some of the facts that will be transpiring with regards to our weather making system working its way through. Now let's talk a little bit about severe thunderstorm type of weather, because that is definitely a risk. And let's start with tonight's risk of severe weather across the lower 48. And it begins right here from Dallas, Fort Worth, north into western Oklahoma. The orange there, an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. That stretches up to green. This green filled in shade is what we would call a marginal risk. A few storms will have the possibility of kissing just the levels of severe, not widespread, but we might see a couple storms with 1-inch diameter hail. A couple of storms produce wind gusts to around 58 miles per hour. In the yellow, that's the slight risk area, and that's where we'll see numerous strong to severe thunderstorms as we go into the evening hours, working our way through. Let me zoom in just a little bit closer. You can see some communities that are under the impacts here. That includes north of Dallas, Oklahoma City, Lawton, all the way down to Wichita Falls, Graham, and Sherman. They're on the border. Does not include Tulsa in the enhanced area, but you are in the slight risk area. Get over into Arkansas, Fayetteville to Fort Smith, and the risk of severe weather goes way down, but that's for today. Let's take a look at day 2. That would be for tomorrow, and we do have a risk of some severe weather across the lower 48. Look at it spread off to the east. So basically from eastern and northern Texas all the way into Mobile, Alabama, a chance for some strong to severe storms. Monroe, Louisiana, Shreveport, Jackson, Mississippi. The yellow area again is at slight risk. This is for the day tomorrow as we take a look at that risk. And then on the day 3 forecast, this system will continue to bring a chance for some strong to severe weather, but it moves into the southeastern United States and the mid-Atlantic states. So from Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, Charlottesville, Virginia Beach, all the way down to the Raleigh, North Carolina area, Wilmington, and Charleston, South Carolina. A chance for severe thunderstorms. The yellow meaning a slight risk. Will keep you updated. That could be enhanced a little bit as we head into the next couple of days. So that's a look at the thunderstorm and winter storm. Now let's take a look at the track and timing of this puppy. And if you do have questions, I always invite them. It's an interactive experience here on Hutch's Weather. Thanks for watching on all of my platforms. That includes right here on the YouTube channel. Thank you so very much for supporting that and watching Hutch. and Hutch's Weather on YouTube. Now, as we take a look at the Facebook channel, let's see if we have any questions arising there, and we'll move right on. Thanks, Tracy, for joining. Good afternoon. Thanks for your support of stars, by the way. I see a few of those popping up. Nancy, good to see you on board as well. Thanks so very much for watching. Hour by hour forecast. Let's start with a USA view. We're going to go with Hutch's favorite model, the European model. And the reason I like it is 2-3 days ago, when this system was just starting to really advertise, that model stayed pretty consistent in its handling of this particular storm system, and overall I feel that it does a better job, in my humblest of meteorological opinions, for any forecast out 4 to 5 days. It doesn't work every time. It's kind of like, well, never mind. There's a movie about working at 60% of the time, but we'll leave that right here. Let's take a look at this forecast from the European model. We're going to step through in time, and what you're going to notice here as we do so is that this storm system is really just beginning in Colorado now. Now, as it starts, south winds in the Gulf of Mexico suck moisture up from those areas, and we'll have a line of strong showers and thunderstorms developing as we head through the late night hours this evening and into the overnight. So this is midnight, and look at the fire and storms. This is basically out there in that southeast Lincoln, Nebraska area, straight through much of central and eastern Kansas, and right through Oklahoma City down into central Texas. Look at the storm of snow developing in the mountains out to the west. Now, this system blows up. The time frame on this is going to be moving through parts of, well, eastern Oklahoma, central Missouri, with showers, thunderstorms, locally heavy rain. Some of these storms, again, severe. First thing in the morning, we could have some strong and windy storms. That'll be the main threat as we go into those morning hours. Then as we go into the afternoon heating of the day and the system moves a little bit farther east, our neighbors to the east could see all modes of severe weather possible. Thanks for watching, John, in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. Beautiful weather we're having here in the Northern Plains, but that's fixing to change with this bad boy right here, moving out of the Rocky Mountains by the time we get to the morning on Tuesday. We're going to see late tonight in the Northern Plains some spits of rain, not a lot, and then that's going to start mixing with some, well, freezing drizzle, sleet, and then changing over to snow. Now, there's going to be a couple of bands of snow. The heaviest band of snow will be co-located very close to the center of low pressure, and that's going to track with the low as it moves through. So that's where the heaviest snow will be. Notice that heavy one going right up into parts of South Dakota. This secondary band that will produce is partially caused by what we call upslope, when wind is being forced up the terrain of the Rocky Mountains and the Black Hills. That's going to bring out a few more flakes out there. Marion, thank you so much. I'm loving the nice weather too. Thanks for joining from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Watching on YouTube, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to focus in on some of your weather. Now check this system out. Tuesday, we'll have some accumulating snow in North Dakota, but it looks like mainly southeast North Dakota, south of Fargo. And we'll have eastern South Dakota with some significant snow that works its way through. That will lean back into south central South Dakota, and many parts of the state of Nebraska will see some measurable snow. Carol chiming in Otter Tail, Minnesota. Good to have you on board. Check this out. In Otter Tail County, wind and snow as we go into your Tuesday evening. This is dinner time. 6 p.m. as you're sitting down to eat the goulash, the tater tot hot dish, or whatever it is you're fixing. It looks like the heavy bands of snow for dinner time will be moving through northwest parts of Iowa. It will be moving through all of eastern parts of South Dakota and eastern portions of Nebraska and western Iowa, with some very heavy bands of snow accumulating. And look at these isobars. The closer these black lines are together, the gustier the winds. There will be gusts of winds upwards of 50 or 55 miles per hour from the eastern Dakotas right smack dab into parts of Iowa, as well as I try to get my system locked back in here to do a little bit of step through on time. Now, as we go into your Wednesday, this system exits right mainly into parts of Wisconsin, and heavier snow up into the UP of Michigan, rain in the southern half of Michigan. So this spiraling showers, thunderstorms as we go into Wednesday noon. Showers and thunderstorms, Atlantic seaboard, wrap around snow all the way from upstate New York, all the way wrapping back down into Illinois. But the heaviest of the snow will be exiting off into parts of southern Canada, another system working its way through. That's this system. Now let's take a look at the snowfall, and then we'll get specific to the Northern Plains for you folks watching here from the Northern Plains. Glenda, good to see you. Glad you're watching from Holly, and Judy watching from warm Arkansas right there. There is some severe weather heading to the great state of Arkansas as you go through, and I tell you what, we're actually enjoying some sunshine up here in the Northern Plains, and things are warming up. And I saw people in shorts and short sleeve shirts today in the 30s and 40s. That's right. That's how we do it in Minnesota and North Dakota. Look at this, by the way. That storm track in the central Rockies means another system evolving as we go into the late week here in the central Rockies and northern Rockies of Wyoming, bringing a fair amount of snow. But let's focus on the first system first, and we'll talk about the rest of that nonsense later. Thanks again for watching, Judy and Glenda. Appreciate all of you watching. Betty, good to have you on there. Now let's take a look at snowfall amounts nationally, and we'll take a look at what's going on with our local forecast in the Northern Plains. So as we take a look at this, what we're going to do is switch this over to snowfall amounts, and I'm going to use the same model because I like the way this one is handling the system. We will look at rainfall too here momentarily, but first let's talk snow as we go through the next 24 hours. 24 hours from now will be Tuesday evening. There we go, dinner time. Whoop! Central Nebraska with the pink. That's basically a band of very heavy snow co-located, as we talked about, with the center of low pressure as it exits the Rockies and moves into the Central Plains. Now, this snow band that will be quite heavy will shift northward and eastward as we go through. So, as we go through the next 24 hours, eastern South Dakota, central Nebraska, and the high country of Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana getting measurable snow, where you see the pinks, a chance, not everybody in that area, a chance for over 4 to 6 inches of snow and a lot of wind to go with it. Now, as we continue this system, it moves out into Iowa, and look at this. What it's doing is it's fetching a whole lot more moisture from the Central Plains, wrapping it back over. That takes time. And the storm system strengthening, meaning more lift and more energy to produce flakes of fluffy snow. Rochester, Minnesota, the southern part of the Twin Cities, Duluth, you're out of the heavier band. Northern and central parts of Wisconsin seeing some heavy band. And the UP of Michigan. See here, there's the mitten of Michigan right about there. See the mitten? Whoop. And then the UP's right up here. That's where the heavier band of snow will be as we go into your Wednesday dinner time. So the second 24 hours, dumping chunks of snow and flakes across Iowa, western portions of the state, northern Wisconsin, southernmost parts of Minnesota. Here in the Red River Valley of North Dakota and eastern Minnesota and, eastern South Dakota, the best chance at real accumulations will be down to the south, not far from Vermilion, Sioux City, Iowa. And that's where I'm expecting that. All right, thanks again for watching, everybody. Looking for questions. Thanks, Tom. Glad you're watching from St. Cloud. It's a wonderful thing to have you on board. Tell your friends and neighbors about good old Hutch. Dan Glazer says, 60% of the time, it works every time. I understand that kind of speak. I'm a meteorologist. Okay, let's continue on with this snow nonsense as we go through. This is Wednesday. Then by the time it gets out, that system's out and the next system starts making its way in. Again, anyone in the pink has a legit shot at 4 to 6 inches of snow. Where you see the deep purplish pink, those places could see over 8 inches of snow. That's winter storm criteria. There'll be some blizzard criteria being met across some of these counties, so watch for your local National Weather Service forecast. They are the ones solely responsible for issuing all watches and warnings. All these folks coming out with, there's an alert for a blizzard. There is no alert for a blizzard. It's either a blizzard warning or there is no blizzard. So pay attention to what the National Weather Service says in your area. They're the experts, and they also know some of your local terrain enhancements. Now that's a look at the snowfall. Now let's check out some other fun, shall we? Let's go to a look at the rainfall and thunderstorm potential as we go through heading into the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm not going to go back out into day 3. Let's see. Which model do you want to look at? What's that? I can hear you. Oh, you want the American model? Wow. Okay, well, let's just check out the American model and we'll show you the difference because I think this is fun. Now you can see the difference in the track of this winter weather event as it works its way out of the Rockies based on the American model. Showers, thunderstorms, heavy rain as we go into the overnight and noon tomorrow, pushing into parts of Arkansas there for you. Judy Johnson, it looks like there's going to be some heavy rain. Pine Bluff, Little Rock, all the way down to the Boot Hill of Missouri and all the way up to St. Louis. Heavy band of snow, eastern parts of South Dakota and central Minnesota, central Kansas and Nebraska. My mistake there. Minnesota, you get some light snow. Now, as it continues on, the heaviest of the snow moves into southern Minnesota and into Iowa, wrapping around into parts of eastern Kansas and also eastern parts of Iowa. Iowa and also Nebraska continue to pick up some very heavy snow. Look at the wind here. There will be gusts over 50 miles per hour, 50 miles per hour with this system, with snow, making travel as you go from Tuesday night into Wednesday morning impossible, possibly in some areas of Iowa, southern Minnesota, eastern Nebraska, Parts of eastern Kansas, as well as western Missouri and northern Missouri, could see some real rough and tumble travel conditions. Then that's out of here with the strongest of thunderstorms making its way off to these. These models look very, very similar with regards to that track and timing of the storm system. And really, the models are what we call converging on a solution. So now let's take a look at precipitation, shall we? Here's a look at how much rain we might be expecting. Total amounts of liquid equivalent moisture. So you're going to see what looks like rain up in the North Country. No, that's liquid melted from the snow. Now we're talking about rain showers in parts of Arkansas from those thunderstorms. What do these pink colors mean? Let's go ahead and glide over this and I'll show you what some of these values are. So as we go into central and southern Iowa, total liquid equivalent moisture, some of it rain, some of it snow, could be 2 inches. That's heavy for this time of the year with cold soil. It runs off fairly quickly. In northern Iowa, where the ground has frost depth deep, that water is going to run off very quickly. So we could have flooding concerns there. In parts of Missouri, we're talking 1 to 1.5 inches for much of your state, particularly in the northwest quadrant and the Boot Heel, not far from those folks in Branson, Missouri. Whoops, pardon me. I got a little hitchy with my giddy-uppy. Okay, now let's take a look at this. Now, as we go down into southern Arkansas, North Texas, and northern Louisiana, rainfall amounts here 1 to 3 inches. Under thunderstorms, locally heavier rain will be possible. So that's a look at your weather. Now we're going to focus it right down here and get to your details in the northern plains. For tonight, I anticipate temperatures will be near 30 degrees in Fargo. Same thing for Grand Forks out in the oil patch. 24 for Williston, North Dakota. Turn the page over into southern Minnesota and look at these morning temperatures. Unbelievable. 45 degrees in Minneapolis. That's t-shirts and shorts weather in the northern plains for this time of the year. Don't wear that outside very long, but it's going to be mild. We will have rain mixed with some areas of mixed precipitation right here along the North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota border. Jessica, thank you for your support of stars. I do appreciate very much. That's gusty winds in the morning from the north at 15 miles per hour out to the west. But here in the valley and across Minnesota, the wind is only going to increase and it will be over 40 miles per hour. Check out these wind speeds in the afternoon. I know we're going to see some gusts over 50 miles per hour, likely in the Red River Valley, the Fergus Falls area. Could see some gusts over that as well. Gusts over 50 miles per hour can topple high-profile vehicles. This wind will be out of the north. So our east-west roadways will have the greatest risk for those of you with those high-profile vehicles. Keep that in mind. And when we get down into the rain, this is by Wednesday night, or excuse me, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we're going to see it become almost impossible to travel in some parts of southern Minnesota. But these temperatures at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, conducive to rain in southern Minnesota. So it starts out as rain and it's going to transition itself right over to that nasty snow with very gusty winds. Barbara Ann, thank you for your support of stars. Y'all are doing a wonderful job of supporting Hutch, and it is very much appreciated. And it's helped me build Hutch's weather into what you see today. 7-day planner. This is for the Fargo area. It is a day where we'll have gusty winds. We'll have some gusts over 50 miles per hour. Morning rain showers will mix in a few areas. The only areas where there'll be some accumulation will be to the south. I'll have a zoomed in forecast map momentarily. 37 your temperature after today is 50. It will feel windy and blustery and not fun at all. So keep those things in mind out there as we go through. Now let's take a look here at what we have going on as we glide into the late week hours. A rebound in temperatures after the coldest of weather on Wednesday exits, and we start seeing that sun warm us up. Hey, it's time to flop those clocks forward, or whatever you want to call it. I guess it's spring. Yeah, we'll spring them forward. Whoop, there we get. Spring them forward. How about this? Gonna dance over here. We got 55 degrees on a sunny Sunday. Are you kidding me? Fargo, 55. I can't drive that. And that's okay, because the speed limit is now higher than 55. 61 degrees and a 90% chance of a barbecue as you go into your Monday, and that's a look at your forecast. Simon, good evening to you. Now, a zoomed in detail of this storm system. Here's a look at morning location of the rain, sleet, and snow. The best chance, Otter Tail County into parts of southern Becker County. So those areas could be seeing a band of briefly moderate snow, big flakes the size of Hutch Johnson's hand here. That kind of snowflake where you got 20 of them all stuck together and stapled together. It's really kind of cool to see, but it's going to start coming down with some increasing wind as well. Snowfall, though, by the time we get to Wednesday, is really going to accumulate in southern Minnesota. A trace to an inch across most of North Dakota and northern Minnesota. Get down in southern Otter Tail County, Grant County, and Douglas County there near Alexandria. These areas here, 1 to 4, a very good bet for you folks. That's some shovel trouble out there. And it's snowblower worthy out there in the Twin Cities and Point South, as I do anticipate we're going to have some wonderfully beautiful weather calling down there for those who are making a living by moving snow 2 to 6 inches and even more in isolated areas, along with wind. So flat out impossible travel conditions with wind and snow as we go from Tuesday night into Wednesday for much of the I-90 corridor here in southern parts of Minnesota. Southern and eastern parts of South Dakota could have a band of very heavy snow track across the I-29 corridor. That is a look at your weather. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson reminding you as we go through this event, if you have questions about what the roads look like in your area, let me tell you a little bit about hutchesweather.com here. And thank you for letting me do that. Hutchesweather.com is your one-stop shopping for anything in the northern plains. You can get information on all kinds of weather. Interactive radar. Right up here, we have a look at those road conditions for you. You click on that. I've got road conditions posted, and these are updated by your DOT in your state or province. It includes Saskatchewan. It includes Manitoba, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, all the way down into parts of Iowa. Yeah, y'all are covered. So thanks for checking out hutchesweather.com. And if you have an inkling, and if you have a youngster that wants to help Hutch do the weather, check out the My Hutch's Weather Kid button. By clicking on that, you can sign up to be a weather kid, and your student can help me learn more about weather. And more than that, I'll give it a chance to work with your student and help teach them a few things about talking about the weather. You can upload your photos, and I remind you, this button down here in the bottom center, you see the green one? It says NTR OTC. That is a network of live video streaming cameras co-located at rail yards across the region. From Moorhead right through Perham and on into the Twin Cities area, you can get the latest on what's going on with your own eyes and confirm whether it looks like something you want to try to drive through as we go from Tuesday afternoon and evening into Wednesday morning. Hutchesweather.com, everything you need right there. All right, if there's no other questions and I'm not seeing them, Ned says at least the snow won't last long, and that's exactly the case. And here in North Dakota, it really won't last too long at all. Southern Minnesota, different story. Thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll have an update a little bit later tonight, but for now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson checking out right here. Follow me on Facebook, please. It really does help me out. You can subscribe on YouTube anytime. Do not forget to click the little dingle bell on your YouTube channel there when you subscribe to my channel to get notifications of when I'm going live. For now, have yourself a wonderful Monday night. Get out and walk the dog. This weather is absurdly nice.